Hello, 259 listeners. Welcome to another edition of the 259 Extra. Tyler Diedrich, Mike Vincelli, and myself, Andy Fowler, here from the 259 studio, coming to you Wednesday mornings with a sound nugget of something that you can hold with you to hold you over until Saturday's show. What a good show this past Saturday's show was, guys. John Schwind.
Thank you to John Schwind.
He listens to the program. He's a fan of the show. Just a good friend. Not
good
even
guy. Good guy all around.
He's a very nice guy.
We all have his phone number now. Other than Joe, because Joe's still not with us. Joe's still buried in snow or something, or still
you missed
sick.
out, Joe.
Joe, you've been replaced with John Schwind. And after we got off talking with John, we set up potentially following him this summer somewhere and doing a podcast on the road, which is a very interesting thing that might happen. Very good chance that it will not happen, but it may happen.
If they give us half-off hot dogs,
we need an agent. We need a booking
dollar
agent.
Dogs.
Yeah. Oh, we could go on
dollar beers, dollar dogs.
What if we're the game promotion that day? Like, they advertise in Altoona or Indianapolis, like, 259 show night.
It was like, who the heck is that?
We're throwing out the first pitch, guys.
No, but like he said, we should just get credentialed. And
probably could.
Broadcast
Media.
live. Yeah.
I wonder if we could get credentialed by the Red Wings. I'm sure they hand those
Absolutely.
things out, right?
There's hardly anyone in the press box.
I've been there. I did it for the 89 won the point at Brockport.
I mean, does the DNC even have a beat writer anymore for the Red Wings? I don't know.
Yes.
Well, they got rid of...
yeah, what's his name? Sale covers half the games, and then Chuckin.
Klobja, he's gone.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought he was still doing the Amex.
He just got laid off recently.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a big mistake. Who was the guy that the DNC had forever?
Jim Mandalero.
No, I'm thinking somebody else that was laid
for the
off.
Red Wings?
Yeah, covered baseball. He wrote a couple books, local books. He
Oh,
looks like my
Scott
uncle.
Petoniak?
Yeah, Petoniak. When they laid him off, it was like the spiral of bye-bye DNC.
Yeah.
Anywho, this week we're going to discuss the Mount Rushmore. We're going to hopefully come to a conclusion of the Mount Rushmore of sports movies. If you did not listen to episode number 13 of the 259 show, I highly recommend you go back, take a listen. John Schwind and us broke down our top 5 lists, as well as a handful of honorable mentions. And I think we could, right off the bat, at least put 2 up on our Mount Rushmore. Everybody had Miracle.
Yep.
The Disney was it maybe 2004 came out?
Yeah.
Miracle made everybody's top 5.
So therefore it has to be on the list.
And it's just a good movie. And
it's a great movie. No, it has the benefit of working with one of probably the greatest sports story of all time. At least in U.S. history.
American sports story of all time, I'd say.
Yeah, and Disney did a good job of producing a full feature-length film about it.
We watched that movie. I didn't tell this during the Saturday show. I was delivering papers for the Suburban News back in the day, and for Christmas, our Christmas bonus was 5 tickets to the Brockport Strand. That's what our paper bonus was. So I took the family, and we watched it at the Brockport Strand. We were the only ones in the theater at the time.
Really?
Yeah. So Miracle makes our Mount Rushmore.
Yes, definitely.
I believe all of us had, at least 4 of the 5 lists.
It was number 1 for Joe. It was number 2 for me.
It's on my
John
list.
had it on his
I think
list.
it was 4 on mine.
3 or 4 on mine.
It was on
all
everyone's
right,
list.
there's another one. Remember the Titans.
That's one movie that's always on TV, but I always stop to watch it no matter which part of the movie it's on.
Yeah.
And we were saying in the Saturday show, great soundtrack. One of the best soundtracks.
My wife has never seen the full thing, I think, or at least not in a long time. So we're due for a viewing.
Well, just watch Freeform.
Yeah, I know.
Every night. And
I've seen it.
It's due to be on in the next month.
Right.
It will probably be on within the next month.
How was your trip to California? Or did you go to California?
Sunshine's from California.
Thanks,
California Dreamland.
Talking to my girl.
Even the
Love you, sugar.
pregame chant that they do. Like,
oh, yeah.
That movie's just so quotable.
That might be like the most quoted like team chant in all of sport, right?
Yeah, I think It is the most quotable sports movie of all time that
definitely.
we're talking about, yeah.
All right, number 3. Was there another one that we... Oh yeah. Mike's movie.
You got to put Rocky on there.
And it's more the series than the movie. Right? We're not like...
Did it make your list?
Rocky was on mine.
It was? Did
Yes.
it make John's list? It made Joe's, so that's
No.
3 at least.
I feel,
it did make Joe's.
I feel it has to be, though.
It's the only sports movie to win an Oscar for Best Film, correct?
No, I mean, it's an iconic film. I mean, look at the statue of Rocky Balboa.
I know
at the
Stallone gets
Philadelphia
knocked because a lot of his movies are corny and
But this
he
was like
always
his
has
first movie.
sequels to them all. But if you look at the facts, it's just how low budget it was, and they made it in a very short amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
And when he was trying to sell the script, he wanted to play the main role, and he turned down a lot of offers because they wanted somebody else to play the character of Rocky. I remember he was very down on his luck at the time when he first wrote the
I'm not
script.
going to argue against Rocky. I've never actually seen the whole thing.
I can't
Oh
tell
my
you
gosh.
which ones I've seen.
The only one I have seen the majority of is Rocky 5.
That's the worst one.
It was on ESPN
That's the
Classic
worst
one
one.
time when I watched it.
Have you seen Creed? Creed's really good too. It's
The continuation.
7th
Yeah.
installment of the film.
no, it's very good. It's not.
The spin-off.
Rocky's not on TV as often as it used to be.
Oh, dude, they just had Marathon like
AMC.
last week.
Dude.
AMC, all the Rockies.
What channel?
AMC.
AMC. All right.
Probably the best movie channel on cable.
Something that
I
potentially...
think
we
Rocky's
could
got
talk
to be on
about.
our list. At least the original, I guess.
You can put the whole series. I mean, there's really only
Rocky
one
in general.
bad. Yeah. And for us, he's like, I feel like he's like a distant relative in my family.
Yeah.
Like we all, like we'll call each other when Rocky's on. Like my aunt will call us sometimes, or like my grandma will talk like, "Oh, did you watch Rocky the other night? It was on TV." I love Stallone.
So we've got our 3.
Yeah.
This is where the point of contention is.
Yes.
The 4th. Tyler, you're going to argue for Rudy.
Of course. Joe would too if he were here. I know that.
What's on my list?
I think John Schwinn would too. Because John and Joe each had it number 3 on their list. I had it number 1.
But now we got to come down to, can we put 2 football movies on Mount Rushmore?
Absolutely. Football is the great American sport. It's more. I know you're going to say baseball is America's pastime, but football is America's most popular sport, and there's no denying that.
Currently.
It has been for quite some time now.
Currently.
Currently, yeah.
Yes, currently football, yes.
I mean, how many of the movies that we've talked about are football movies? Most of them.
Most of them.
Yeah.
I know, Tyler, you said you haven't seen this movie in entirety, but Hoosiers?
I have seen Hoosiers.
Oh, you have?
I have seen Hoosiers, yes.
And if you look at a lot of lists online, that's
Up there.
it's number 1 or at
That's
least
other
top
lists, though.
3.
I mean, we have to choose.
No, I was just saying, just throwing it out there. That's
I think Hoosiers... I'm arguing against Rudy is the field is too strong to put Rudy in. Hoosiers, Field of Dreams belong in that conversation.
I just don't think they're strong enough to unseat Rudy. I mean, like I said, 3 out of 5 people here had it in their top 5, whereas only... Who had Hoosiers on their list?
I believe I was the only one with Hoosiers.
All right, who had Field of Dreams on their list?
John and I believe.
I don't even think John did.
No?
We'll have to go back and listen, but I don't think he did.
I don't know.
I mean, Rudy had 3 people. 3 out of 5 had Rudy on the list in the top 3. I had.
But to
number
be
1.
fair, in the same argument, Hoosiers was also mentioned as often as Space Jam. So how credible are our lists that we're really going off of?
No, this is our list that we're picking.
I don't know.
I mean, I
But
don't know
Hoosiers is like the sports movie of sports movies. If I have to choose,
But why was it only on one list then?
because you guys don't know how to value sports movies.
So yes, it would be on your Mount Rushmore, but as a collective group here, the
So
5
that's
of
we're going
us
to
who
base
took
it off
part in
of
this.
numbers like that.
I think that's what you have to do. I mean, you can't say one person's opinion overrides all the others just because one person had on that list.
I think Hoosiers is higher than Rocky, though. But I agree with the group that Rocky goes in because of what how Rocky is as a series.
This is hard, man.
I mean, there's nothing else that was on as many lists as Rudy that's left.
Fake news. Fake news.
I'm really bummed no one put Sandlot.
I mean, I think objectively, you have to go with Rudy.
Why is that?
I've explained it. It was on 3 out of 5 top 5 lists. It was in the top 3 in each of those.
It's not even the greatest football movie, though.
Okay, it doesn't have to be. There's 4 movies on this list. 2 of them could be football. There's no rule that says otherwise. Picking the 4 greatest, and if you combine the top 5 lists that we've talked about, Rudy's going to have enough points, so to speak, to be in that top 4.
I don't know, guys. Well, I'll
I understand Tyler's logic. It makes sense because that's how he based the other 3 picks, based on how many of us voted on those movies. So going with that logic,
but
it should be.
It should be.
But it's not on mine, and I have a hard time putting it up there because it's not on mine.
Mm-hmm. And at the same time, the argument that football's the greatest sport, we put hockey and boxing on our
We don't need to look at the actual sport.
But that was your first argument for Rudy.
No, I only said that because you brought it up, saying why can we have 2 football movies? It shouldn't matter the sport.
Yeah, I don't think that.
It's the quality of the movie.
We forgot about Air Bud too, guys.
Oh,
with Al Borland.
Yes,
I love Air Bud.
But I don't know.
No, it's a movie.
2/3 of us right now in this room did not put it on our list.
Okay, but 3/5 of the people who.
Yeah, this is our
Joe doesn't count because
Rushmore.
He didn't even submit his list via Google Doc or to the group.
He texted it to me.
Not to the group though. You could have made that up.
So we're using an arbitrary rule here to decide that
2/3 needs.
Technically, this is mine, Drew's,
Look,
and yours.
I think the viewers
Rushmore.
at home can draw their own conclusions here.
You wouldn't put Rudy on if it was not Notre Dame based.
How do you know that though? Like Joe's not a Notre Dame fan.
He
is now. He said on the show. Now he is.
Yeah.
After
he
going,
doesn't follow Notre Dame. Are you kidding me?
I'm sure he watches Notre Dame football every Saturday.
Yeah. Right.
If it's on, he'll watch it.
Yeah, they are on every Saturday, unfortunately.
See?
Well, fortunately, unfortunately, sometimes. I mean, my wife doesn't like football at all. She loves Rudy.
If you guys won the national championship, I think I would have put Rudy on my list.
Why does that have anything to do with it?
Because you guys are awfully coached.
Right, I know. I'm not disagreeing. That has nothing to do with this. We're ranking it for its quality as a film.
I think there's higher quality films than Rudy that's on there.
Sure,
basing
but
on quality. Well, that's what you just said.
We're talking about which ones are our favorite.
Yeah.
And again,
not our favorite, the greatest. We now have to take us out of the picture here.
Why are we doing that now and not at the beginning of this show?
Well, I think we all agree that those are the greatest. The Legacy of Miracle.
They're our favorites, so yes,
Rocky.
we think they're the greatest. I have Rudy as number 1, therefore I think it's the greatest sports film of all time. Maybe technically it's not, but
oh, there we go.
I think it is.
There we go.
Technically, I mean in terms of the quality of the
We have to take
production.
us out of the picture here.
Since when? You got to say that at the beginning of the show if we're going to do that. You can't just decide that now.
Okay. Would you like to change Miracle, Rocky, or
You guys said
Remember the
Miracle
Titans?
wasn't that great quality of a film technically.
Wait, when did I say that?
We talked about it.
I don't
Just
recall.
now?
We talked about it at some point, either in this or in the actual
What did we say?
show. I don't know the exact words.
I don't remember that part of the conversation.
Like it didn't win any awards. None of these films did, except for Rocky, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
No, we said it's the greatest sports moment in U.S. sports history. The
Right, but
best
we didn't
U.S.
say it
sports
was
story.
story, right? The story that
This is the
led
movie's
to
the
film,
story.
but we didn't say it was the greatest movie of all time, sports movie of all time.
Mike,
We're getting off track now.
You
though.
get the deciding factor here, Mike. We're running long for the Wednesday Nugget.
I understand. What are we up? It's between Hoosiers and Rudy.
If I had to argue a sports movie that's not Rudy, it's going to be Hoosiers.
Okay.
And that's...
So you guys can't even decide on one. Your argument is that it's not Rudy, but you can't tell me definitively which one it's going to be.
Hoosiers or Field of Dreams?
Which one?
I think they're on the same plane. And I would put Rudy below that
I would
plane.
for me, I'd put Hoosiers ahead of Rudy.
Thank you, Mike.
But if we're basing it off of how we ranked him on the show and the number of votes, then Rudy should be on there. I'm fine with putting Rudy on there because I enjoy Rudy, and that is a movie I will also watch whenever it is on TV, no matter which point it is at in the movie. So, I'm fine with putting Rudy on my top 4.
Okay. I feel like the fan base that's not a Diedrich will agree with me that we backhandedly left off Hoosiers and Field of Dreams.
I think more people have seen Rudy than either of those two that are listening.
Oh,
to the show.
I don't think we could factor off that. Rudy's a more recent
Well,
movie.
of course, because it wasn't your idea. That's why.
No, it's a more recent movie.
What is?
Rudy is.
Okay, yeah, it's still almost 25 years old.
But still,
Anywho, so is it Rudy as our fourth spot?
That's what That's what the group has said, I guess.
All right, then. So our Mount Rushmore is Remember the Titans, Miracle, Rocky, and Rudy.
I'm protesting. I'll finish the segment and protest, guys.
Not your Mount Rushmore.
Not my Rushmore.
Well, you know what? We should have laid out what was our determining.
Is this poorly organized?
I just thought it was simple. The greatest sports movie, Mount Rushmore of sports movies. I guess you could argue that the actual Mount Rushmore is not the 4 greatest presidents. So I don't know really what our criteria for Mount Rushmore is.
Well, you know what?
It's just fun debate. We're embracing debate.
I don't think anyone would agree that these are the 4 greatest sports movies of all time, but there are 4
except for Rocky
favorites collectively.
And Miracle.
That's pretty much our favorites.
I saw Miracle. It is a great story, obviously, but some reviews weren't as glowing about the movie when it came out, just in the way it was told. But,
no, sure.
But that doesn't mean we have to agree with it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Still 2 football movies.
Hey.
That gets me.
Hey, you know what? Glove don't fit. You must have quit.
Oh, gosh.
That's our sign to wrap up.
That's another week. Next.
Either that or like Mike.
Like Air Bud, man.
I did love Air Bud.
It's a close number 6.
Air Bud?
Yeah.
Which one, right? And then the chip. They had the MVP.
Primate.
Yeah, you had Air Bud.
Wait, is it the monkey that played hockey, right?
Yeah. And then there's a skateboarding one.
The skateboard.
Air Bud.
Was there a basketball
receiver.
one too, or no?
Yeah, I'm sure.
I
remember going to like an HP Rec youth football clinic when around the time that the Air Bud football movie came out.
Jeff Perzak.
And some kid said that he wanted to play golden receiver.
Awesome. So next Wednesday, following the calendar, we're back due for Closest to the Pin, which wasn't well received in its first go round. We'll give it another good college try.
Yeah,
I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think it was the most fun.
Typically, when we have the most fun, we don't do as well in the ratings. But this has been another episode of the 259 Extra. Once again, if you want to hear more conversation surrounding our selections, go back at episode number 13 with John Schwind. About halfway through, we get into our power rankings. And hopefully that was enough to hold you over till Saturday morning, where we'll come to you again. Thank you for listening. We'll talk to you soon.